This is Making Waves, a series of podcasts celebrating and commemorating 25 years of Wave Community Bank.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Making Waves, the 25th anniversary podcast series celebrating and commemorating Wave Community Bank. And the emphasis on today's episode is that word community. I'm joined by Wave Community Bank's Community Engagement Officer, Jen. Jen, apart from being able to get the word community in as many times as possible during the first 30 seconds of the podcast, can you tell me what does community engagement look like in practice at Wave? And how do you measure that?
Hi, Phil. I do like the overuse of the word community. I'm a big fan of that. For us, it kind of has different ways and different strategies. So we do lots of collaborations with local organisations, be that community groups, charities, sometimes the councils, the housing teams, all different community groups. And we just sit in a room and say, how can we help? What problem are you facing? How can we solve that? Sometimes we can't always solve all of the problems, but if we can talk about money hinges on so many issues. So if we can start at the basics, sometimes that does solve some of the bigger problems. That's one of the things that we do. We attend a lot of community events. Emma, who we've all listened to on the other podcasts, will tell you she's always looking at my diary and going, we are out a lot. And that's because I choose to be out a lot. Talking to community groups, it could be that we're talking to 5 people about numeracy, but we could be at an event seeing thousands of people. And we also do a bit of sponsorship. Luckily, we were able to sponsor Canterbury Christchurch University recently for their Hackberry event. And it was an amazing opportunity for us to talk to people. We also sponsor housing events, and we also try and spend our money wisely when we're doing any marketing with our local suppliers. So it's all those kinds of things that we're doing at the moment. Measuring the success. Now, it could be argued that the growth in members and savings would be a really good indicator of how well we're doing with our community. Actually, the feedback that we get when we go out into those meetings is one of the measures of success. I was recently at a meeting in Canterbury, and one of our members who'd met me at a previous event in Ashford signed up with us and said, I'm so glad I met you. I've been able to do a debt consolidation loan. It's made my outgoing so much lower, and my life has completely changed. Now, you can't quantify that as a number. Yes, she's a member now, but actually being able to quantify it in a different way and say, we've made this impact on her life is a massive, huge measure of success. And isn't something that we can always go out and do, except when our members tell us that they've done that. So for me at the moment, it's about getting that feedback of how we've changed people's lives, how we've helped them, how we've been able to empower them to do something differently. So that's where I'm focusing on at the moment.
Yeah.
And that's where we're doing it.
My next question was going to be, can you tell us about a moment or project that's really captured kind of the spirit of Wave's mission in the community? But I think you've just done it there. But how do you go about building trust with individuals and groups who might never have heard of Wave or indeed a credit union before?
First and foremost, explaining what a credit union is. We are very clear about, we know what a credit union is. I didn't particularly know what a credit union was 2 years ago. So I was educated by Emma and yourself about what a credit union is. And just by saying, this is who we are, this is how we operate, and this is how we do good in the community and we do well across all of the mission and values that we have. By just being in the room and saying, you can talk to us about it, ask me questions, just be in the room and be present, and also listen to people's problems. Sometimes we don't always talk about money. I was at a recent event in a rural community, and this older lady said to me, I'm very financially safe. I don't need your loans, and I don't really want to do savings, but my husband's just been diagnosed with dementia, and I don't know what that's going to look like. And so I was able to say to her, that's fine. We're in a space and a room right now where there are all these organisations that can support you. Can I get them to come and talk to you? Shall we go get a coffee and I'll get them to come and talk to you? And that's the difference that we do, in that because we are community minded and community focused and we're always thinking about people rather than profit, then we're able to do that. And that's about saying that as a credit union, yeah, we're going to talk about money, but actually sometimes it isn't the be all and end all. And it's just showing that we're an option. We're here to help. We're not here to judge. We just want to listen and we want to help. And it sounds really
Absolutely.
corny when I say it,
No,
but
it's absolutely right. It's absolutely right. So, can I get you to go a bit more specifically into in what ways Wave collaborates with local organisations, schools, or employers to promote financial well-being?
it's very much led by the organisations. So some schools say to us, can you come in and talk about financial well-being? What does that look like? Okay, well, we can do that. Some schools have said, can you come in and talk to us about budgeting? We did a lovely session with some cubs the other day about working on their badge for money matters. How does that look for them? Some people just say, can you come in and talk about how to budget? What does a pay slip look like? How should they be saving? All of those things is very dictated to by the organisations that we work for. We do a lot of work, particularly with credit scores and APR, especially since it's come out that I explain them with biscuits. People always remember those sessions. So they're one of the most important ones that I try and encourage every organisation to do, because a credit score and how APR works is so closely linked. And when people see the adverts on TV, they don't always look at the APR and they don't understand how a not great credit score could impact you financially with your APR offering. So by giving those people that tiny little bit of knowledge that doesn't take very long, actually impacts them on a bigger session. So that's the kind of things that we do with our local organisations, and it can vary. Some of them have asked us to come in and just sit in a room and talk about the saving options that we've got available. Some of them have said, can you focus purely on the loans? We know we've got this issue. Jen, we know that you're a bit passionate about loan sharks. We've identified there might be a bit of an issue, but we can't get any information out. Can you come and talk about how that works? So because they know who I am and know that I'm quite happy to talk about things, they invite us in. And I'm really lucky that people are being really nice and letting us come into spaces.
So it sounds kind of really easy, if you know what I mean. But what are some of the challenges you're actually facing, kind of getting to those underserved, hard to reach communities, and how do you overcome those challenges?
I wish it was easy, Phil. I really wish it was a lot easier. I have approached people to say, can I come to your family fun day? And I've had emails going, it's family fun day, not family downer day. Because when you talk about the fun stuff of financial literacy and financial well-being, people don't always understand that I'm just going to be there with a stand providing information and just supporting, and also attending an event and meeting community members, because I get to meet lots of different organisations at these events. And I try and do that because I like to see people, really. But when you say to people, can we come and talk about financial literacy or financial well-being, people don't understand how that works and how that can impact a community. So I always say that's absolutely fine if they definitely say no, but I encourage them to come and meet us, attend our podcasts, listen to the webinars, all of those kind of things to understand who we are and what we do, and say, I'm not trying to make it a downer. I'm trying to make the world a slightly better place, one person at a time. Can I just be an option, please? So it's sometimes just about going, okay, I understand. But if you meet me, I'd really love to talk to you about another option that we do, or come and see me at another event and see how we work. And that's okay. Also, sometimes those hard to reach communities, they have a lot of support and a lot of help. They don't always need me. And I'm absolutely fine with that. So it's also about them knowing who we are. So we try and just be out and about and meeting other community groups and just talking in general and just being present in meetings and in rooms, and sometimes being known as that crazy lady who brings biscuits to events.
Yeah.
And
So looking ahead, what's kind of the one thing that you'd love to see Wave Community Bank doing more of in terms of community involvement in the future?
you know what, we're so lucky. We are now being invited to different meetings and different events, and people are now saying, oh, can you attend our amazing Pride event? Can you come to this? Can you come to that? What I love more, rather than us going out, is people approaching us to say, hey, can you attend our community event? Can you come and do this? Can you come and do that? I'd much rather people came to us rather than us reaching out. It's slowly working, but at the moment, it's just about knowing that we're an option and also talking about us with their friends. I think that's for us, for me particularly, that's what I really love to see at the moment. People talking about us and signposting to us without me having to go out and bribe them with biscuits. I joke about bribing with biscuits, but how do you get people to talk about if they might be in a pickle? Biscuits.
Seems to be the way to work, doesn't it?
It absolutely does seem to be the way to work. So if you do see me out and about at a community event, I might have biscuits. I might have some pencils. Sometimes I don't have any of those, but do come and talk to me. I think all of us when we go out are very low pressure. Here's the information. Please take it. If you don't need it, pass it on to somebody that does need it, because we can't be in all spaces all of the time. And we all know somebody in our lives who isn't great with money and needs that little bit of support and help. And if all of us can signpost, then we can help everybody. And we're all in a better situation when everybody's starting to save and feel a little bit better with their money.
Absolutely. Jen, Community Engagement Officer for Wave Community Bank. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Making Waves is produced by and on behalf of Wave Community Bank. For more details, visit our website on www.wavecb.org.uk.